The innocent mistake. On the edge of a quiet human colony, there lived a small boy named Eli. He was not special in the way heroes usually are. He did not fly ships or carry weapons. He did not dream of war or glory. He only liked the dirt, the sun, and things that could grow. Every morning, Eli walked beyond the metal homes and solar towers to a small patch of red soil near the rocks. The place was forgotten by adults. Nothing useful grew there. But Eli liked it because it felt calm. The wind moved slowly, and the ground was warm. In the middle of that patch lay a smooth gray stone. Eli believed it was a seed. He did not know why. It was bigger than any seed he had seen and cold like old metal. But it felt important to him. So every day, he brought water in a small cup and poured it gently over the stone. "Grow," he whispered, the same word every time. People laughed when they saw him. His mother smiled but said nothing. The workers shook their heads. "Stones don't grow," they told him. "You are wasting water." Eli nodded, but he came back anyway. He believed growing things needed patience. What Eli did not know was that the stone was not a stone at all. It had waited. For a very long time, deep under the stone's hard shell, something old was listening. It felt the water soak through tiny cracks. It felt the warmth of the child's hands. It felt care, something it had not felt in thousands of years. The stone remembered fire. It remembered war. It remembered hiding. Long ago, when dragons ruled the stars, this egg had been hidden on a quiet world to escape destruction. Its kind had been hunted, their power feared. The egg was sealed in stone and left to sleep until the universe was safe again. But the universe never became safe. So the egg waited and waited until a human child watered it like a seed. At night, strange things began to happen. Eli noticed first. The stone was warm when the sun was gone. Not hot, just warm like something alive. When he pressed his ear against it, he thought he heard a soft sound, a slow, steady beat. He told no one. It felt like a secret meant only for him. The next day, the ground around the stone looked different. The soil was darker, richer. Small cracks spread under the surface, like roots searching for space. Eli smiled. "It's working," he said happily. Above the planet, far beyond human sensors, something else reacted. A deep signal moved through space. Ancient, sharp, alive. Dragonkind felt it like pain. An egg had awakened. That was impossible. Dragon eggs were tracked, counted, controlled. This one was supposed to be dead, lost, erased from history. And yet it was calling out. The elder dragons stirred in their cold fleets. They searched star maps older than human spaceflight. The signal pointed to a small human colony. That made it worse. Humans were not meant to touch dragon eggs. Humans were weak, short-lived, emotional, dangerous in the wrong way. Back on the ground, Eli poured water as always. The stone pulsed faintly, just once. The boy froze. He placed his hand on it. It pulsed again. Eli pulled his hand back, heart racing. He should have run. He should have called an adult. Instead, he smiled. "Hello," he said softly. The stone answered, not with words, but with feeling. Warmth spread through Eli's chest. It felt like being thanked. The sky darkened suddenly. Clouds gathered where none had been before. The wind picked up, pushing dust across the colony. Sensors began to fail. Lights flickered. No one understood why. That night, Eli dreamed of fire that did not burn him. He dreamed of wings folded in stone. He dreamed of a voice that did not speak, but knew him. When he woke, the stone was cracked. Just a small line, thin as a hair. Eli dropped his cup. The crack glowed faint gold, like a sunrise trapped inside rock. He reached out, shaking, and touched the crack. The stone began to break. Far away, dragon ships turned toward the human world, and the universe leaned closer. Because a child had made an innocent mistake, and nothing would ever be the same again. The egg that should not wake. The stone did not break all at once. It opened slowly, like it was afraid of the world. Eli stood very still. His breath was tight in his chest. The glowing crack grew wider, spreading soft golden light across the dark ground. The air felt warm, even though the night was cold. The boy felt it in his bones. This was not something broken. This was something opening. A piece of stone fell away. Inside was not fire. Inside was an egg. Smooth, dark, veined with faint lines of light that moved like slow breathing. It was bigger than Eli's head and rested gently in the broken shell, as if the stone had been protecting it. Eli did not scream. He knelt. It grew, he whispered. The egg answered, not with sound, but with feeling. A quiet pull, like the tug of a hand asking to be held. Eli reached out before he could stop himself. His fingers touched the egg. It was warm, alive. At that moment, every system on the colony screamed. Alarms rang. Lights flashed red. Machines failed and restarted again and again. People ran into the streets, looking at the sky. Sensors showed nothing, yet something felt wrong. The air pressed down, heavy and sharp. Above the planet, something ancient crossed into the system. Dragon scouts. They were silent ships, black and sharp, hidden from human eyes. Their scans locked onto the signal coming from the ground. Their answer was instant and cold. The forbidden egg lives. That sentence had not been spoken in centuries. Back on the surface, Eli wrapped his arms around the egg without knowing why. Fear finally reached him, but came too late. He felt that if he let go, something terrible would happen. Footsteps sounded behind him. Eli, his mother called. He turned. The glow lit her face with gold. Her eyes widened, not with wonder, but with fear. What did you find? She asked. Before he could answer, soldiers arrived. They carried scanners and weapons, their voices sharp with command. The machines screamed louder near the egg. This is not human tech, one said. Seal the area, another ordered. Call command. Eli stood in front of the egg. No, he said. His voice shook, but he did not move. It's growing. The soldiers hesitated. Something about the egg made them uneasy. The air felt wrong. Too old. Too aware. Then the egg pulsed. Once. Twice. The ground trembled. Cracks spread through the soil like lightning. A low sound rolled out, deep and slow, like a breath taken after a long sleep. One soldier dropped his weapon. Another stepped back, whispering a prayer. Far above, the dragon scouts marked the moment. The bond has begun, one said. A human touched it. That was worse than the egg waking. Dragon law was clear. An egg that bonded with a human was a threat to all dragonkind. Humans changed things. Humans felt too much. They did not follow old rules. Such eggs were destroyed. On the ground, the egg's shell shifted. A small piece broke away, revealing something soft and dark beneath. Light spilled out stronger now, painting the night in gold. Eli felt pain in his chest. Not his own. Fear. Loneliness. Waiting. It's scared, he said, tears in his eyes. Please don't hurt it. His mother pulled him back, but the egg cried out, this time with sound. A thin, sharp cry that cut through metal and bone. Windows shattered. Lights went out across the colony. Then everything stopped. Silence felt like a hell breath. The egg went still. Too still. For a moment, Eli thought it had died. Far above, the dragon scouts made their choice. Mark the world, the commander said. Prepare the hunters. The planet was now on a list no human had ever seen. Eli knelt beside the egg again. The light was dim now, but he could still feel it. Alive, fragile, holding on. I'm here, he whispered. The egg answered with a tiny warmth against his hands. It trusted him. That was the most dangerous thing of all. Because when the dragons came, they would not see a child. They would see a mistake, and they would come to erase it. When the dragon chose a human, the egg did not hatch the next day, or the day after. It waited. Eli stayed close to it, even when soldiers guarded the area and adults argued in low voices. The egg had been moved into a sealed shelter, but Eli was allowed inside. No one could explain why. Every machine failed when they tried to move it too far from him. The egg reacted only to Eli. When he stepped inside, the light inside the shell grew stronger. When he left, it faded again. The adults noticed. They did not like it. This is dangerous, one officer said. The child should be removed. They tried. The moment they pulled Eli away, the egg screamed. Not loud, but deep. The sound pressed into the mind, filling it with fear and heat. Metal bent. Screens went black. The shelter walls cracked. They let Eli go. The egg calmed. From that moment, everyone understood one thing clearly. The egg had chosen him. Eli did not understand bonds or ancient laws. He only knew the egg felt lonely. So he talked to it. He told it about his day, about the plants he wanted to grow, about how people laughed when he watered a stone. "I knew you were something," he said softly. The egg answered with warmth. That night, the shell began to move. Fine cracks spread like glass under pressure. Light poured out in steady waves, no longer afraid. The air shimmered, and Eli felt his heart beat faster, matching a rhythm that was not his own. The first piece of shell fell away. Then another. Inside, something small moved. Eli stepped back, eyes wide. A tiny claw pushed through the broken shell. Dark, scaled, shaking. Then a small head emerged, eyes closed, breathing fast and uneven. The dragon was small, smaller than a cat. Its wings were folded tight, weak and wet. Steam rose from its body like mist in cold air. It made a soft sound, not a roar, a question. Eli knelt without thinking. The moment the dragon opened its eyes, everything changed. The eyes were gold, and they locked onto him. The bond snapped into place like a door closing. Eli gasped. Pain shot through his chest, then faded into heat. His vision blurred. For a second, he felt memories that were not his. Firestorms flying through black space, hiding inside stone while empires burned. The dragon cried out. Eli cried out too. Then the pain stopped. The dragon crawled forward and pressed its small head against Eli's chest. Its heartbeat slowed. Eli's breathing steadied. They were calm together. Outside the shelter, alarms screamed again. Dragon ships entered the atmosphere. This time they did not hide. The sky burned red as massive shapes broke through the clouds. Their shadows covered the colony. People ran. Some fell to their knees in fear. The dragons had come in force. Inside the shelter, the small dragon stirred. It lifted its head, sensing danger. A thin line of fire escaped its mouth by accident, burning a mark into the floor. Eli did not pull away. "It's okay," he whispered, though fear filled him. "I'm here." The dragon wrapped a tiny claw around his shirt. Far above, the dragon commanders watched the scene through ancient sight. "A full bond," one said coldly. "Impossible. The human is a child." "That makes it worse," another replied. "The bond is pure." Pure bonds were dangerous. They could not be broken without killing both sides. The order was given. Prepare to cleanse. On the ground, Eli felt something change inside him. His skin burned, not with fire, but with strength. His heart beat louder. His senses sharpened. He could hear the wings in the sky, feel their anger like pressure on his bones. He stood. The dragon hatchling hissed softly, trying to protect him despite its size. Eli stepped between the door and the dragon. He did not understand why he was no longer shaking. He only knew one thing. "They will not take you," he said. The shelter door began to melt. Outside, ancient beings of fire and scale prepared to erase a mistake. Inside, a human child stood with a dragon at his heart, and the galaxy watched in silence. Because for the first time in history, a dragon had chosen a human, and history had never survived that choice unchanged. The day the sky burned, the first dragon ship did not fire. It spoke. The sound rolled across the colony like thunder trapped inside metal. Windows shattered. People collapsed, hands over their ears. The voice was deep, ancient, and full of judgment. "Return the hatchling." Eli stood frozen inside the shelter. The small dragon pressed closer to his chest, shaking. Eli could feel its fear as clearly as his own. "No," he whispered. Outside, soldiers raised their weapons. It was useless. Everyone knew it. The dragon ships lowered, blocking out the sun. Their wings spread wide, casting the colony into shadow. Heat filled the air. The ground cracked. The elder dragon descended last. It was massive. Its scales glowed like molten stone. Its eyes burned with old power and older anger. When it landed, the earth screamed. "You have broken an ancient law," the dragon said, staring directly at Eli through the shelter wall. "The hatchling belongs to dragonkind." Eli felt the words inside his head. It belongs to me, he said back, surprised at his own voice. It was stronger now, steadier. The dragon's eyes narrowed. A human does not own a dragon. The shelter door vanished in a wave of heat. Eli stepped forward before anyone could stop him. He stood in the open, a small human against a god of fire. The hatchling clung to him, wings wrapped tight around his chest. Please, Eli said. It was alone. The elder dragon paused. For a single heartbeat, something like doubt flickered across its ancient face. Then the other dragons moved. Flames fell from the sky. Buildings burned. Towers collapsed. Soldiers were thrown back like dust. The colony screamed as firestorms swept through metal and flesh alike. Eli felt the heat crash into him. It did not burn. The flames curved around his body, pulled away like water around stone. His skin glowed faint gold. Lines of light traced across his arms, forming patterns older than language. The dragons recoiled. That is not possible, one hissed. The hatchling roared. It was small, but the sound carried power. Fire answered it, spiraling upward from the ground in a bright column. The colony lights surged back on, fueled by something not human. Eli fell to one knee, pain tearing through him now. The bond burned like a second heart in his chest. Above, the elder dragon stared in shock. The human is changing, it said slowly. The bond is rewriting him. That was forbidden. Humans were not meant to carry dragon fire. Eli looked at his hands. They shook, but they were strong. He could feel the ground, the air, the dragons. He could feel their fear. I don't want to fight, he said, voice breaking. I just want to protect him. The elder dragon lowered its head, eyes level with the child. If you keep the hatchling, it said, you will become something else. Eli did not look away. Then I will. The dragons attacked together. Fire and force crashed down in a single wave meant to erase the ground itself. Eli screamed, not in fear, but in refusal. The hatchling screamed with him. Their voices joined. The fire split. A shockwave tore across the sky. Dragon ships were thrown back, spinning. The elder dragon was forced to dig its claws into the ground to stay upright. Silence followed. Smoke rose. Eli stood at the center of it all, glowing, shaking alive. The colony still stood. The dragons stared. For the first time in their long history, they hesitated. The elder dragon spoke again, its voice lower now. This world is no longer weak, it said, and neither are you. The dragons lifted into the sky, retreating for now. Eli collapsed to the ground. The hatchling curled against his chest, safe. High above, the elder dragon watched the human world grow smaller. This changes everything, it said, because the sky had burned, and humanity had not fallen. The fire inside the human. The dragons did not leave the system. They waited, high above the planet. Their ships formed a silent ring of fire in the sky. They watched the human world below, measuring, judging, deciding if it should be erased or spared. On the ground, the colony was broken but alive. Eli lay on a medical table, surrounded by doctors and flickering machines. The dragon hatchling slept on his chest, rising and falling with his breath. No one dare move it. The scans made no sense. Eli's heart rate was too strong. His blood carried strange heat. Thin lines of light pulsed beneath his skin like living veins. The machines called it impossible. The doctors called it dangerous. He's not human anymore, one whispered. Eli heard them. That was new. His hearing had changed. So had his sight. He could see heat, feel fear, taste anger in the air like metal. The bond burned quietly inside him, no longer wild but deep and steady. The hatchling woke. Its eyes opened, brighter now, stronger. It looked at Eli and chirped softly. Eli smiled. Outside the shelter, humans argued. This child is a weapon, a commander said. We should hand the dragon over before they come back. They already came back, another replied, pointing to the sky. And they failed. That frightened them more than the fire. Above the planet, the Dragon Council gathered. Ancient beings of flame and memory watched recordings of the battle again and again. They slowed the images, studied the human child standing in fire. This should not exist, one elder said. A bonded human is a threat. A bonded human is a bridge, another replied. And bridges change worlds. The argument grew heated. Some dragons demanded destruction. Others demanded study. But all agreed on one thing. Humanity could no longer be ignored. On the ground, Eli stood for the first time since the battle. His legs shook, but he did not fall. When he walked, the ground warmed under his feet. When he breathed, the air answered. The hatchling followed him, stumbling on weak legs, wings half spread. People backed away. Some stared in fear. Some stared in awe. A little girl stepped forward and held out her hand. The hatchling sniffed, then gently touched her finger with its nose. Nothing burned. The crowd went silent. Eli felt something shift in the air. Fear was changing. High above, a dragon ship moved. Then another. They were descending. Sirens wailed. Soldiers raised weapons again. Eli stepped outside before anyone could stop him. He looked up at the burning sky. "I'm not hiding," he said. The hatchling stood beside him, wings lifted. The elder dragon appeared once more, landing heavily before the colony gates. Its eyes searched Eli, not with rage now, but with caution. "You carry fire," the dragon said, "but you are still human." "I don't want war," Eli answered, "but I won't give him up." The dragon studied the hatchling. "This one will grow," it said, "and when it does, your bond will make it stronger than any dragon before." Eli swallowed. "Then teach us," he said, "or fight us. But don't pretend we're nothing." The words shocked everyone, even the dragons. Silence stretched. Then the elder dragon lowered its head slightly. "A human who stands in fire and does not burn," it said slowly, "is no longer prey." The dragon ships rose again, pulling back into the sky. Not retreating, repositioning. Eli felt it. This was not over. This was the beginning, because the fire inside the human had awakened, and the galaxy was watching to see how it would burn. The choice that shook the stars. The dragons returned at dawn, not with fire, with law. The sky above the colony opened like a wound, and a massive structure descended, older than human spaceflight, carved with symbols that hurt to look at for too long. It was the Dragon Tribunal, a moving court of ancient power. Every human sensor failed. Every human felt it. This was not an attack. This was judgment. Eli stood at the center of the colony, the hatchling, now stronger, larger than before, at his side. Its scales shimmered, no longer dull, but alive with faint light. The bond between them had deepened. Eli could feel the dragon's thoughts now. Simple, but clear. Danger. Choice. Stand. The elder dragon from before emerged, flanked by others even larger, their wings folding like mountains closing. "The law is clear," the elder said, its voice echoing across the ground and inside every mind. A bonded human must be separated from the dragon, or both must be destroyed. Gasps spread through the crowd. Eli did not move. "What if we refuse?" he asked. The ground trembled as one dragon stepped forward. "Then this world burns." The words were calm. That was worse. Eli felt fear rise in the people behind him. He felt anger too. He felt something else, resolve, sharp and growing. Humans were fragile, but they were not empty. He looked at the hatchling. Images filled his mind. Flying. Fire. Stars. Loss. "I won't let you die," Eli whispered. The hatchling pressed its head against his chest. "Mine." The dragons noticed. The eldest among them tilted its head. "The bond speaks," it said quietly. "It has chosen you fully." That was rare. That was dangerous. Eli turned to the humans behind him. "They think we're weak," he said. His voice carried farther than it should have. "They think we break when pushed." He raised his hand. Golden light flared along his skin. "But we don't." The colony responded. People stepped forward. Soldiers lowered weapons, not in fear but in choice. Engineers, farmers, children, they stood together. The dragons shifted uneasily. This was not expected. The elder dragon growled low. "Very well," it said. "One final choice." It pointed a claw at Eli. "Give up the dragon, and you live as human." Then it pointed to the sky. "Or keep it and face dragon fire alone." Eli closed his eyes. He felt the bond surge, steady and strong. He felt the hatchling's trust, pure and absolute. He opened his eyes. I choose him. The sky ignited. Dragon fire fell, not as chaos, but as a single focused strike meant to erase Eli from existence. Eli screamed, not in pain, in defiance. The hatchling roared with him. Their fire joined. The blast hit and stopped. A wall of golden flame rose around Eli, shaped by will, not rage. The dragon fire bent, split, and vanished into the sky. The tribunal went silent. The elder dragons stared. This is new, one whispered. Eli stood, breathing hard, still alive. The fire faded. The elder dragon lowered its head deeply this time. The choice is made, it said, and it cannot be undone. The tribunal began to rise, retreating into the clouds. But not all dragons followed. Some stayed, watching, learning, because the stars themselves had felt the choice, and they would never forget it. The legend of the watered stone. The dragons left the system slowly, not in defeat, in thought. Their massive ships pulled away from the human world, vanishing one by one into the dark. The dragon tribunal folded itself into light and disappeared, taking ancient laws with it. The sky cleared. For the first time since the stone cracked, the planet was quiet. Eli stood where it had all begun, on the red soil beyond the colony, near the place where he once watered a stone and hoped it would grow. The ground still carried faint warmth, like a memory that refused to fade. The dragon was no longer a hatchling. It stood taller now, wings strong, eyes bright with fire and understanding. It had grown faster than any dragon in recorded memory. The bond had fed it, not with power alone, but with trust. Eli felt the change inside himself, too. The fire no longer burned. It lived. He could feel the stars now, distant and alive, like voices waiting to be answered. He was still human. He laughed, he feared, he loved, but something more walked beside those feelings. The colony had changed. Humans no longer looked at the sky with only fear. Children played beneath it. Engineers rebuilt with new purpose. Soldiers trained not just to fight, but to stand. Stories spread faster than ships. A human child had faced dragons. A dragon had chosen kindness. Across the galaxy, species listened. Some laughed. Some trembled. The dragons gathered in their distant worlds and argued for many cycles. Old elders spoke of destruction. Younger ones spoke of possibility. Records were rewritten. Laws softened. One truth remained. The age of humans being ignored was over. One evening, as twin suns dipped below the horizon, the dragon lowered its head beside Eli. Images flowed between them, flying together, guarding worlds, standing between fire and the weak. Eli understood. You don't belong to me, he said softly. You chose me. The dragon's mind touched his, and you chose to protect. That was the difference. High above, a single dragon ship watched the planet one last time. The elder dragon's voice echoed quietly through the void. Remember this world, it said. Not for its weapons, not for its fleets, for its child. Time passed. Years later, travelers would speak of a human who walked with a dragon at his side, of a world where fire did not mean death, of a legend that began not with war, but with water. They would tell the story simply. A human child once watered a stone, thinking it was a seed. And because of that mistake, the galaxy learned what humanity truly was. Not conquerors, not prey, but protectors. And the stars have been quieter ever since. Not from fear, but from respect.